In today's slop, Joe Rogan's brain melts when confronted about the UFC Michelle Obama comments. But before I continue, let's watch this man defend his daddy Trump. Because even though he says, yeah, man, I am politically homeless though, yeah, man.
I think taxes, until they have an accurate account of where the fucking money goes, and until you completely eliminate all fraud and waste, what the fuck are you doing locking people up for not paying taxes? Like, you guys should get locked up for not doing a good job with our money.
So what you think about all the new purchases and redoing the White House and all this with tax dollars?
Did they do it with tax dollars? Like, how much money did they spend in tax dollars to do the ballroom?
What's that?
Let's find out.
So fact check. I'm actually one of Rogan's producers, damn it. I am Jamie's virtual brown assistant. Except he doesn't pay me, this motherfucker. It states here that Trump's ballroom will reportedly cost $600 million, and that taxpayer money is paying half of that. This has been reported from multiple different outlets. And it says here from the Washington Post that multiple project summaries provided to the White House show that internal cost estimates have been significantly higher than administration officials have acknowledged in public comments or court filings. They also show that the work was projected to rely heavily on taxpayer dollars from the moment it was announced. So there's the facts, or whatever the hell. Let's see how the big toe reacts to this.
What's that?
They need a ballroom, though. That's how that guy snuck in with a gun, because they tried to do that White House Correspondents' Dinner in a hotel. That dude who got arrested a few months back. Reports indicate the new White House East Wing ballroom is projected to cost about $600 million, with roughly half, just over $300 million, coming from taxpayer-funded government accounts, despite earlier promises that it would be taxpayer-free. $300 million sounds like a lot until you find out how much money they spend on other things. When you find out how much fraud it is in NGOs, how much fraud is in nonprofits, how much fraud is in insider trading and propping up companies so that they can get better deals.
Well,
the whole thing is fraud.
Copium. Copium. This man's going to OD on the copium sooner or later, damn it. You know what I mean? You see how he switches up. This man was so confident that taxpayer money was not going to be used in this freaking ballroom. But as soon as he finds out, he's like, yeah, man, $300 million. Yeah, man, that's not a lot of money. Yeah, man. What are we talking about? He is sounding like a true tech oligarch now. He's completely transformed. You see, like, this is what Rogan and all of these Trump sycophants do nowadays, because they have no factual evidence on their side. They know that if they do bring up the factual evidence, that they'll get shellackled in debates. So instead, what they do is they point. But what about this over there? What about that over there? Trans people, immigrants, women, They have to distract you from the conversation at hand. That's their overall now game plan. And Rogan actually states, oh, yeah, man, we need a ballroom though. Yeah, man. Why? Why do we need a ballroom? He says, oh, for protection. What does Trump need protection from? He's cooked. He's a walking corpse. He's cooked. Trump doesn't even need doctors anymore, bro. The doctors are already treating him like a testing tube. Trump doesn't need doctors. He needs like aliens. He needs alien doctors, conservative alien doctors who can basically perform miracles. Because Trump right now looks like a freaking turtle that lost its shell. Absolutely no need for this fucking ballroom. $600 million. Do you know what we can do with that money? Oh my, and the fact that Joe Rogan gets mad at this argument, it reminds me so much of that dumbbell Nick Shirley. He has this whole, mantra, oh, I am the anti-fraud taxpayer club. Meanwhile, this buffoon is over here enthusiastically supporting the most corrupt and fraudulent administration in American history. Make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense. But yeah, in this video, we're going to talk about the big toe. Fuck this guy, dude. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. So here's the next clip.
We realize, we are actually on a team. So if we're on a team, why do we have these deeply impoverished neighborhoods for decades and decades that are riddled with crime and drug abuse? Why? Is it impossible to fix? That's crazy. That's not true. It's just no one's tried to fix it. No one's done any effort to fix it. And if you did fix it, you want to make America great. Here's the best way. Less losers. And how do you get less losers? More opportunities for people. More opportunities, more support, more education, more everything that you need if that was your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And if we did that, we'd have to switch the way our system runs, but that could be done, man.
That's the thing.
You don't have to have losers, not that many.
You know what's ironic? All those quote-unquote losers that he's referring to in this clip, that's his fan base. Like, he literally described his fan base to a T. The flat earth believers who put ketchup in their soup while watching Nick Fuentes rant about God knows what he's ranting about. That's his fan base. To me, it's like the language and the rhetoric that he uses, like referring to people as losers. I personally would not do that. You know, in my opinion, like, you know, labeling somebody as a loser simply because they lack formal education, you know, to me, this is just my opinion, but this overall like educational attainment is like often shaped by factors beyond a person's control, like, you know, including poverty, underfunded schools, family responsibilities, discrimination, unstable housing. Many hardworking people are unable to pursue a higher education because they have to support their families, you know? In my opinion, Rogan should be happy, you know? As education keeps plummeting in this country. Sucks. You know, the more listeners there will be to freaking Joe Rogan. And I'm not even joking regarding the overall systemic barriers. I mean, you know, a new report, this one came out like a month ago, finds that states have deprived schools of hundreds of billions of dollars since 2016. And it goes on to state here that this decrease in education efforts represents a loss of nearly $600 billion in state and local from kindergarten to 12th grade. But instead, Rogan refers to these people as quote-unquote losers. Fuck this guy, dude. You know what would make America great? Shutting down Rogan's freaking state propaganda show. All the misinformation, all the overall right-wing propaganda slop would be over with.
The experience or the education in those things. And then we just saying a bunch of divisive things. You know, what was the thing? Michelle Obama is a man. Like, how did that help? How did that help?
That guy says that every time. What that guy does, he's like a pro wrestler. Like, he's got a character called the Incredible Hulk. It's very corny in a lot of ways. Sometimes it's, you know, cringy. But the point is, he gets a lot of attention. A lot of attention because of all this. That's what he's doing. So what he's trying to do is maximize the amount of attention that he can get for a very short window of career. This is not how he really feels, how he really thinks. When you talk to him in real life, he's very reasonable. This is an act that he does, like a pro wrestling act. But what he can do is fight. He's really good. And that's what's so confusing about it all. So you got this guy who's created like this fake persona where he puts on an American flag bandana, comes out to Hulk Hogan music, does all his interviews with sunglasses on, has a bunch of crazy, silly rhymes, and says ridiculous shit, just trying to get attention, the most amount of attention.
So according to the Big Toe, this is all an act. You know, guys like Sneeko, Nick Fuentes, everybody in the Red Pill, all these conservative grifters, you know, it's all an act for attention. I think that's what he's trying to tell me, you know? As long that it's for attention to advance their careers, it's fine. So all the hate speech that is being spewed out there by Nick Fuentes, Sneeko, and all the rest of these motherfuckers, it's all fair game, basically, to Joe Rogan. But you know what's not fair game? The moment you actually push back and you bring constructive criticism to whatever Joe Rogan is spewing out, then he gets pissed off. Then it's not fair game. So if I want attention, I can just bark out bullshit out into the public, out into the virtual space. You know, so I can just start a rumor saying, Rogan likes, you know, being handcuffed and spanked by Stephen Miller on the weekends. Oh, God. Well, you know, but according to Rogan, I'm trying to advance my own career. I want attention. It's just the entitlement. You know, again, he's defending that fighter. You know, he's like, oh, it's a fighter, bro. Calm down. Just because you're a fighter, it doesn't give you the license to spread misinformation like that. Not even misinformation, just vile comments about a human being, a woman. You see, with Rogan, it's always when it suits him and his community. If somebody on the left said this about somebody on his side, he will be up in arms right now. But because it's a fighter, he's just like, no, you know, give him a pass. You know, he's just trying to rage bait. He's just, you know, trying to get clicks here and there.
A 40-year-old Derek Lewis.
A 40-year-old Derek Lewis then turn around and say, Michelle Obama's a man. I was like, okay, you know something?
I know what you're saying.
I'm pissed.
Listen, you're right. Listen,
I'm
you're
pissed.
right. But I'm telling you, if you met that dude in real life, you would get it. He's just a dude. He's just a guy who's a competitive wrestler, played in the NFL, and he's like, I got to do something to figure out how to get people to pay attention to me. Because it can't just be fighting. It's not enough. If you look at Conor McGregor, you look at Sugar Sean O'Malley, you look at these guys that have these flamboyant personalities, these big personalities. They get Cassius Clay is the original example. They get an immense amount of attention, and that translates into much more money and much more opportunities.
So Rogan's friend, that guy, that comic, Ali Sadiq, presses him on this subject, which was actually sensitive for him. You can tell, he was a little bit pissed off about it. But Rogan immediately dismisses it. Mind you, also, Rogan's other friend, Shane Gillis, who actually went to the UFC White House event, mainly because Joe Rogan pretty much kind of forced him. Rogan was just like, yeah, man, I don't want to be there by myself. Yeah, man. And then Shane Gillis actually went. And then Shane Gillis himself was actually pressed by TMZ people outside of the White House asking for him to denounce this overall Michelle Obama comments. And Shane actually did it. You see, Rogan is a piece of shit friend. He put his own friend in that position. Like what Rogan's pretty much doing, this is pretty much trust me, bro. This is pretty much it. Oh, trust me, bro. He's not racist. He's not a fascist. Just trust me, bro. But we trusted you in I didn't, but people did in 2024. And look what that got us. And the fact that he uses, Muhammad Ali as a barometer, to compare and contrast freaking Muhammad Ali to this freaking, fascist dumbbell of a fighter, I'm not going to say his name, fuck him, is freaking insane. Like Muhammad Ali was famously known for taking public stands on, the Vietnam War, civil rights advocacy, religious freedom. Meanwhile, this fucking buffoon right here, this UFC fighter, is best known for, barking out that Michelle Obama's a man while being half naked in front of the White House lawn. What are we talking about? Rogan has been minimized now to just trust me, bro. Like literally, that's it. There are no more arguments on his side. Reality is not on his side anymore. It's just trust me, bro. That should be the name of the podcast. Trust me, bro, featuring Joe Rogan. The fact that his friend comes on the show with multiple concerns and he immediately dismisses them, just like how he did with Theo Vaughn a couple months ago. The fact that this man has friends, I already know, we all know, he only has friends because, they're trying to, advance in their careers respectively. But like, come on, dude. Like, if I was a comic, I would not hop on a Joe Rogan Experience. It's not even hot like that anymore. It doesn't catapult you into stardom anymore. Hopping on a Joe Rogan Experience no longer has the same effect as it used to, man. Anyways, that's all I have to say for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Peace, y'all.